Hello, my name is Tony, and today we're going to look at another horrible case with you. In September 2006, residents of New Salem, North Dakota, witnessed a terrifying murder when college senior Mindy Morgenstern was discovered dead inside her own apartment. While Mindy's friends were the ones who discovered her body, even the most experienced police officers were shocked by the brutality of the crime. Who murdered Mindy Morgenstern? And why? Let's look into the details of the crime and learn more, shall we? Mindy Morgenstern lived alone in New Salem, where she attended Valley City State University, despite being close to her family. According to reports, she was 22 years old and a senior at the prominent school in September 2006. People who knew her described her as a kind and generous person who never hesitated to reach out to those in need. Mindy was also known for her friendly and charming personality, which helped her make friends wherever she went. In fact, she was quite popular among her friend circle at the time of her death, which made her sudden absence all the more noticeable and eventually led to the discovery of her body. On September 13, 2006, Mindy's friends became concerned when they were unable to reach her over the phone. Furthermore, because no one knew where she was, two of her friends, Tony Bauman and Danielle Holmstrom, decided to visit her. What they discovered changed their lives forever. When they arrived at Mindy's apartment, they discovered the door was unlocked and walked in, unaware of the horror that awaited them. Inside, her friends discovered her in a pool of her own blood on the floor, a belt around her neck. Bauman's screams alerted a neighbor, Robert Linz, who checked Mindy's pulse while Bauman dialed 911. "I ran inside and knocked on the door, and there was no answer. It wasn't locked, so I opened the door and stepped in," said Tony Bauman. "About 2 steps in, I saw something on the ground right in front of my feet. It was Mindy. And then I noticed something around her neck." When the first responders arrived on the scene, they pronounced Mindy dead, and the first medical examination revealed stab wounds as well as strangulation signs. An autopsy later revealed that she was asphyxiated and stabbed to death. In fact, the stabbing was so severe that the knife had broken off and was still lodged inside her neck. In addition, there was no evidence of sexual abuse found during the autopsy, and a search of the crime scene revealed that nothing was stolen from the apartment, including Mindy's purse and cell phone, which lay beside her. The most perplexing aspect for detectives was that the victim's body was covered in pine sol and there was no evidence of a forced entry. The apartment was located on the second floor of the building, said Special Agent Mark Saylor of the North Dakota Bureau of Criminal Investigation. "As I entered, I could smell a very strong odor, like an ammonia disinfectant. The body of the victim was lying across the entry hallway." The initial investigation into Mindy's murder was difficult because the police had few leads to work with. Despite the fact that officials canvassed the crime scene, searched for witnesses, and even interviewed several of Mindy's acquaintances, nothing provided them with an immediate suspect to focus on. Furthermore, authorities were able to extract a foreign DNA sample from the crime scene, but the case was delayed while the sample was tested in the forensics lab. Meanwhile, the police investigated several other suspects, including the boyfriend of one of Mindy's friends and an alleged stalker. However, all of them were quickly ruled out, and the detectives were back at square one. Authorities appear to have made their first breakthrough when they spoke with Mindy's neighbors and discovered that Mo Gibbs, a corrections officer at the Barnes County Jail, also lived in the same building. The truth is that Mo revealed that he smelled a strong pine sol odor around the time of Mindy's murder, which made the police suspicious. Nonetheless, with little to go on, they were unable to connect him to the crime and were forced to move on. However, the situation was turned upside down once the forensics lab finished testing the DNA sample recovered from the crime scene. The sample not only matched Mo, but it also matched the perpetrator of an unrelated and unsolved rape case in Fargo, North Dakota in 2004. Gibbs was then invited into the station to speak with officers, who noticed healing scratches on his hands. When questioned, Mo, predictably, denied any involvement in either case and insisted on his innocence. He claimed his DNA was present at the crime scene because he had entered Mindy's apartment on the day of the incident to assist her with laundry. However, further investigation revealed that Mo had even served time in prison for an unrelated attempted premeditated murder case at Fort Leavenworth Prison from 1994 to 1998 under the name Glenn Dale Morgan Jr. They discovered that Gibbs had changed his name, and that his legal name before 2005 had been Glenn Dale Morgan Jr. and, despite passing the background check to join the corrections staff, according to his personnel file with Barnes County, he served in the Navy from 1990 to 1999. It became clear that he was capable of murder. This, along with the forensic evidence, resulted in Mo's arrest, and several female inmates from the local jail came forward to say that Gibbs had sexually assaulted them while he was working. One woman told police, though it was excluded as overly prejudicial at his murder trial, that he had digitally assaulted her around 6 a.m. on the morning of Mindy's murder before his shift ended at 7. Mo Gibbs was eventually charged with 6 counts of sexual assault for his actions at the jail, 1 count of sexual assault for the rape in Fargo, and 1 count of first-degree murder in Mindy's death when he appeared in court to face the abuse accusations. Gibbs accepted a plea bargain and admitted guilt to 6 counts of sexual assault and 1 count of rape. While he received a 12-year prison sentence for rape, he also received a concurrent 15-year sentence for sexual assault charges in 2007. On the other hand, maintained his innocence in Mindy's murder and even pleaded not guilty to the charge in June 2007. Mo's first trial ended in a hung jury, but the jury in his July 2007 trial for Mindy's murder deadlocked on whether Gibbs was guilty. The defense claimed that the DNA found under her fingernails was a result of a touch transfer from when he helped her with her laundry. Gibbs' second trial took place in November 2007, and prosecutors were better prepared this time. They used Mo's habitual texting and email habit to establish that he'd stopped texting just before the murder and resumed immediately afterwards. The woman Gibbs was married to at the time of the murder, who had divorced him by the time of his first trial, testified at his first trial that she had texted him at 12:33 p.m. to ask him to bring her a beverage because she was heavily pregnant, but he hadn't brought her anything until 1 p.m. During the trial, prosecutors argued that he attempted to assault Mindy during this time period, but when she fought back, he killed her instead and simply left. They also presented evidence at both trials that Gibbs confessed to his cellmate, Jeremy Leopold, who later became religious and informed police about the confession. On November 20, 2007, the jury found Gibbs guilty of murder after 27 hours of deliberation, in front of Mindy's family and Mo's new fiancée, Amy. He was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole. At his sentencing, Mindy's mother, Eunice Morgenstern, was the only person to give a statement. "Mr. Gibbs, I forgive you publicly here," she said. "I also want you to know that I won't forget what you did to Mindy." Eunice also told Gibbs, "My heart goes out to his family and children," for which he thanked her. Eunice has written a book about her daughter, which came out in 2019. Gibbs is still being held at the North Dakota State Penitentiary in Bismarck. His scheduled release date is 2100, when he will be 128 years old. Mo Gibbs, in my opinion, is rightfully serving a life sentence for committing this abominable crime. This serves as a testament to the efficacy of our justice system in punishing such atrocious acts. While it is important to acknowledge that retribution alone cannot fully heal the wounds inflicted upon Mindy's loved ones, it does act as a deterrent against future acts of violence and provides a sense of closure for those affected by this tragic event. As professionals, it is crucial for us to recognize and respect the legal proceedings that led to this outcome, finding solace in the fact that justice has been served. Hey, what's your take on this case? Do you believe that the punishment Mo Gibbs received is fair? Or do you think he should face more severe punishments? Let me know what you think in the comments. Tony was with you, and thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel and don't forget to click the bell to stay up to date on the biggest stories from around the world. I'll see you soon. Take care.